It's 8:38 in the morning, and I'm making a breakfast thing. It's Tuesday. Yesterday, obviously, Monday. 65. Start. I'm gonna just clean your lens real quick. Wash your face. So, this morning, I wanted to have a chat. As you can see, sleeveless shirt weather is upon us. And here in Ohio, in the River Valley, it has gone from winter to 90 plus degrees. And yesterday, I had no problem with it because I was ironing boards down to the Lexington, Kentucky area, Nicholasville, and I ran into this group called the Drinklings. I didn't even get the joke on their name, but this morning over at the old Cuisinart coffee station there see that over there? This morning we were running the normal, this is my normal coffee, and you can hear it's empty. There's nothing but a scoop in there. And so we ground and added some of this Java that we got yesterday from Drinklings. I think you guys, if you saw my video yesterday, you'd know that it was extremely my taste in coffee. I'll say that. I don't think there's such thing as a best ever. And so these Drinklings guys are roasting coffee in a way that really is to my taste. It's coffee that tastes like coffee smells. And so I wanted to say just adding 2 scoops of the Drinklings to our normal garbage coffee, which is a big no-no. You almost never get a good flavor when you mix different coffees together. You don't get that good flavor from either one of them. So I thought it was going to be a junk pot, but sure enough, that coffee tasting like coffee smells. I don't know how to describe it, but you guys probably know that coffee is a pretty big part of my day. And lately, I call them the kids, have been making coffee that's very acidic, very highly caffeinated, of course. And the beans, when they roast them lighter, and they make these really acidic coffees. And everybody says that's the good coffee, and they look at me funny when I'm like, you got anything more burnt, more roasty? Well, this here is freaking me out. They're just adding 2 scoops. And it's not the same as what I had yesterday, which was almost a chocolate flavor in the bean. It was crazy. Seriously, my mind is blown by the goodness of this coffee. I guess if this ever became an official thing, I would have to say today's episode of Lou talking out the side of his head is brought to you by Drinklings Coffee, and it's just super good. But I wanted to have a breakfast chat with you guys because I've got a few things I wanted to discuss. One of them is, did you guys ever misunderstand a post and troll it really hard because you got really... Yesterday, there was this post on Facebook, and the person listed all these pros and people in the industry of skateboarding and put Christian, and listed them by their religion in this post. And I had this visceral knee-jerk reaction of oh great, now we're listing people out by their religions, and we're showing how ridiculous Christians are, because anytime you look at Christians especially, it seems, are particularly, there's no religion in the world that I've personally hated more than I hated Christians. That was before I became one. And I have a particular sympathy for those who hold Christians in contempt. I do. I really am not offended by people being offended by the crazy, zany bullshit factory of Christian religion in America. I'm not offended by that. In fact, I affirm a lot of those observations. And so I just set to it. I was like, oh, so we're going to start listing people out by their religions, huh? Are we going to start down that long, lonesome road? To make a list of Jewish people now. Now make a list of Muslims. Make a list of gypsies. Make a list of, start making lists. Man, I misunderstood it completely. The dude had written that they were Christians because he felt like it was a good thing that they were Christians, and he was doing this thing where he was highlighting all these like popular believers. And I guess the conclusion was supposed to be something like that. Look at these guys are Christians. He being a Christian is cool and okay, which is a lot different from what I thought, because I thought it was more like, making a list of Zionists or making a list of, I thought it was, so I trolled these guys so hard. I got about, me guys, I can write a paragraph. I got about 18 paragraphs into this, and all the people involved with it were just being really cool to me. Everyone was just being kind of cool and like, Lou, And then this morning, a good friend of mine reached out and he said, dude, I think you misunderstood that. Now, I would have maybe trolled it the other way anyway, but so I put a big, hey everybody, I'm sorry I trolled you guys. I misunderstood the post. I didn't understand that this was not hating people for their religion, but rather this was a post that was saying, ain't it grand that these folks are all of that religion, which is it. And I was so impolite yesterday and so ungracious, and everyone was really cool to me. So I wanted to just kind of document that in my life with this camera and you guys, that yesterday I was a dick, and I feel okay about that. There are going to be times that we all wind up having to eat a plate of crow. So I went on and ate a plate of crow yesterday. If any of you guys find the post and want to take a look at it, you get to watch me eat some crow, and your opinions of me can rise or fall accordingly. I'm cool with it. But that was the first thing I wanted to talk about. The second thing I wanted to talk about was about why I was so tense yesterday and why I got so why I was so irascible and so aggressive about that whole situation. And the reason I was so aggressive and irascible and was because I've been watching something happening, and I don't think I can just let this go on without putting something out in the public sphere. So what's happening is that Jason Jesse is being publicly attacked for his affiliations and his words that are racist. And on the Slap forum pages and on the very influential and extremely hilarious skateboard shitposting Facebook group, Jason Jesse is just getting absolutely, talk about reaping what you sow. Now there's no question that Jason Jesse throughout his career has really been an erratic and unstable personality, and he has really said some awful things. It's true. There's no question. It's true. But his career got a jump start some years ago with the emergence of the older skaters as, Masters Division and whatnot. And I liked it, because these were the skaters, Eric Dressen, Jason Jesse, these were the skaters that really inspired me and my friends in our style and in our approach. And it sucked to watch drugs and lunacy and all sorts of things take down the people that we really loved and enjoyed footage, and we enjoyed the snippets of their personality and like that. I've never considered myself a fan because but maybe I'm just too proud to admit that I'm a fan. But fan or not, it was discouraging to watch them fall. You know, your Grossos and some of them just ducked out. You know, Blender was ghost, and Jeff Kendall was not a person that I looked up to in skateboarding. And you know, I just wasn't a Kendall guy. But I really see that like a lot of these guys went up in the industry, you know, became owners of things. Others dipped out like Blender. Others washed out on drugs like Grosso and Eric Drezen. Just these guys washed out hard. And other guys like Jason Jesse, you know, just descended into whatever level of lunacy their life was in the first place. And it was really none of my damn business, and I didn't really occupy myself with too much thought about it. But some of the things I loved about Drezen and Jesse was that their boards back then were pressed in Milwaukee, and they were super good boards. And I really didn't care about the graphics on boards as a kid, so I'm not a normal person. I'm not processing this normally. But watching, and there's no question that Jason Jesse has, oh my gosh, he's said some terrible things throughout his career, especially many years ago. Recently, a photo surfaced of Jason Jesse wearing he was doing a suicide shift, you know, on his chopper, and he had a glove on, and the back of the glove was a swastika. And this was really bad because some of the things that a guy who's had a past of saying racist and provocative and controversial things, you know, if that guy is in any way serious about distancing himself from a past that he renounces, he's not going to rock the swastika glove, you know. Jason Jesse donated a denim cut to a museum, and it has a red and black swastika down at 5 o'clock on it. And these photos are now in heavy circulation, and the story is out. Jason Jesse has had a lifelong on and off affiliation with provocative, controversial, racist stuff, and it's ugly. And I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable because well, this morning I was watching Purple, the Converse video. And I was watching the Converse video and really enjoying it. And I couldn't help but notice there was another pro in there who also has a public record of saying some racist things. And I was watching some stuff yesterday, and I saw another pro who's done some really dumb stuff. And then I saw another pro talking about his knee and all this on a YouTube video, and he was talking about rehabbing this knee and everyone, and then that guy said some really sexist things, and I just got this feeling like, man, if we start down this road of tarring and feathering people for their idiocy, and I think we are. I think that's where it's going. I think that Stance Socks and Converse are going to drop Jason Jesse. NHS, I don't know. Maybe they'll hold the line and not drop him. But, you know, and he'll be fine, you know, as a human. He'll find his way forward, I suppose. I think it means a lot to someone when they lose their skateboarding community, and when skateboarding comes together and says that they're evil, that they're bad. This is what's being said, that Jason Jesse is evil, that he's bad. I mean, the overarching idea is that this guy said bad things, he's a bad person, he's evil, he doesn't deserve a place in the industry. These things might be in some way, to some degree, true. Maybe people who in the past have done bad things, maybe they really don't deserve a public career. Maybe it's true what they're saying. Maybe Jason Jessee should lose all his sponsors because of those things. But there's something about the whole thing. And friends, I can't always put my thumb on it because I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but there's something about the whole thing just doesn't sit right with me. And I'm going to be spending time and thought in the coming weeks just thinking about it. Because like I said, watching Converse Purple today, not only did I see another pro in there who's well known for a racist outburst or two, but I also saw a skate team made up of, there was the first guy who, the guy who looks like he has like dead eyes, like the zombie guy who just rips tech, and next guy, and then the third guy in purple, and you have three races of human beings as people identify them today. You got three shades of skin. And I got in there, and then there was a clip, and then they had Kenny Anderson. So Kenny Anderson represents at least two more races. You know, I mean, I think what bothers me about it is this identitarian idea that people, like, we have different cultures in America. We do. We have different subcultures. We have different races in America. There are different communities and different ethoses and ethnoses in America. When I was looking at Purple, I just was really stoked because, you know, Jason Jessee is on a team with a whole bunch of folks who aren't his same skin color, and as checkered as his past is and as crazy as the guy's been, I'm happy that his actual life isn't the life of a racist dude. I'm sad because I have a lot of affection for Jason Jessee. I feel badly for him that he got famous, and I think that's really heavy. And I hope that he can, you know, I hope he'll be okay. But I hope we'll be okay, us skateboarders, as these winds start blowing and telling everybody, oh, this person's a racist, and this person's a racist, and this person did something, and this person said something, and you know, and it's terribly fun to destroy someone else. Terribly fun. It's a real rush of power. When instead of, yeah, I see Noah Baxter's comment on here. Thank you for it. I think it's really tough because I think Jason Jessee is an important part of skate history. I think it's important that we don't destroy people. We should destroy ideas. If we attacked the ideas of racial identity that separates people from each other as thoroughly and vigorously as we attack the person, Jason Jessee, we'd all be in a better place. And that's what I'm committed to. I've attacked bullying, described bullying. I've attacked industry chicanery. But I haven't attacked bullies, and I haven't attacked anyone and trolled their page and tried to shut them down from their sponsors and things like that. Some people felt I did, but I was talking about ideas. I was talking about ideas and ethics, not talking about specific people and accusing them of this, that, or the other thing. I've touched close to home. You know, I've talked about the profile of retailer who's a bully. The irony of it is a local retailer here got really mad at me because I was talking about bully retailers and things like that. I was getting correspondence from all over the country of people who thought I was describing their local shop owner. And that's a significant thing, because I've got a guy who's absolutely vowed never to forgive me for the things that he feels I said about him, when the things I said were exact profiles on so many others. Some of the things I said were Cincinnati specific, it's true, but that shoe fit and someone needed to wear it. And at this point, I want to affirm there's a certain amount of legitimacy as well to the mob of folks who are attacking Jason Jesse. I think that there's a legitimacy to their critique. I do. And I don't think we should uncritically support any pro who's had a past of doing stuff like that. Hey, Todd Sullivan. I'm just sad. And something about that sadness and something about this conflict caused me to get my troll on extra hard on some Christian kids yesterday online. And that's not usually my style, but it was interesting. So sitting here drinking good coffee this morning. I got a 10 o'clock business meeting with David. Then I'm in the workshop and might do another video today with the make of the day or some such. And thought I would just touch on these things because once we start attacking people for the mistakes they've made, and it's not that we shouldn't, but once we do, what we're tearing down when we do that needs to be framed in by what we're building up. And my hope is that skateboarding for everybody will be built up. See you later, Noah. Well, friends, I'm going to end this one and catch you guys on the flip side back in the shop. Thanks for hanging out with me. Peace be with you. Thanks. See you, Tommy. Just ended it.